Happy New Year, everybody. Bill Knutson here. New York Sports with an Attitude. It's been a couple of weeks. I was out of town during the Christmas week. You know, life happening, holidays happening, you know how it is. Happy New Year, everybody. And I'm back for 2019. All right, here we go. I guess the big news of the day would be the NFL playoffs. Unfortunately, New York Sports with an Attitude has no New York sports in the playoffs, so we're all crabby about that, obviously. Giants were terrible, 5-11. They started off like 0-6. Then they got, a bit of a mini winning streak going on, and then they ended up losing their last three games. Didn't have Beckham, but I don't think it would have mattered much. Ended up 5-11. A lot of turmoil about whether it's going to be Eli Manning playing next year or not. Who else do you have? It's got to be Eli. There's really nobody big that I see in the draft coming up, so Eli's going to be the man next year. Get the right pieces around him. Obviously, Beckham is the right piece. Obviously, Barkley was tremendous this year. He was awesome. But get the offensive line going, get another receiver or two, work on the defense. There's a lot of things to work on. The Jets, just horrible. I expected them to be about 6-10. They were even worse than that at 4-12. They fired their coach, which obviously needed to be done, but they just don't have the talent. They got to get people in there that can work on the draft, get some free agents. I mean, it's a big-time market, and, they just don't have the talent. I feel bad for the Jets fans who are very loyal, very passionate, but it's just a mess over there right now with the Jets, and it's pretty much a mess with the Giants too. They need to start working on that with the draft, spend some money, get some good quality free agents, get the right coaching staff, GM, etc., etc. It's just a mess with New York football. Anyway, on to the teams that are actually good. This Saturday, Colts and the Texans at 4:30. Should be a good game. I don't know if anybody saw what the Colts were going to do. They started off 1-5. They ended up 10-6. They ended up going 9-1 the last 10 games. Andrew Luck, 39 touchdowns. Only Mahomes had more than he did. Huge comeback year. He'll obviously be the comeback player of the year easily, Andrew Luck. And we'll see how that game goes, So I'm looking forward to that. Saturday night, Seahawks and Cowboys. Not that I'm a Seahawks fan. I just absolutely hate the Cowboys. So I'm hoping that the Seahawks will pull off a little bit of an upset in Dallas. So go Seahawks. I'll be a big Seahawks fan Saturday night. On Sunday, the early game at 1 o'clock. Chargers and the Ravens. Chargers are dangerous. They're a very talented team. They don't really have a home. They should have stayed in San Diego, but I digress. In LA, they can't even sell out a 30,000 seat stadium, and most of the fans seem to be for the opposition. So LA is a really bad, sports town. They don't even sell out for the Rams when the Rams play home games at the Coliseum. So it's just a really bad sports city. And now they're building this massive $1.5 billion stadium for the Chargers and the Rams. And it'll sell out for the first couple of years because you know how it is. They always sell out new stadiums. But LA is just a bad sports city, but it's the second biggest TV market in the country behind New York. So of course you got to have the NFL there because it's all about the money. So we'll see how the Chargers play in a cold Baltimore. So I guess I'll root for the Chargers. I don't like the Ravens. And Sunday at 4:30, the last game of the weekend, the Super Bowl champion Eagles squeaked into the playoffs because the Vikings couldn't take care of their business at home and win a game. If the Vikings had won, they'd be in, and the Eagles wouldn't get a chance to defend. But Vikings didn't show up at home, lost, and the Eagles shut out the Redskins in Washington. So the Eagles get a chance to defend their title. It's going to be tough, though. They got to go to a very cold Chicago with that great defense that Chicago has at 4:30 on Sunday. But at least they're in, and they get a chance to do it. So I'm looking forward to the playoffs. Those are the 8 teams playing this weekend. Of course, in the AFC, Kansas City's got the number 1 spot, and New England the number 2. So they get a bye. We'll see who they're going to play. And in the NFC, New Orleans is number 1, and the LA Rams are number 2. So they'll get a bye and rest a bit and wait until it's their time to play and see who they play. Obviously, with my wife being from Louisiana, I'm a Saints fan during this upcoming playoffs. I'm hoping the Saints will win it all. The Super Bowl is here in my backyard, right in downtown Atlanta. So I'm not going to the game, but me and some friends might run down because you know how it is. The world is in town for a few weeks for the Super Bowls, and they'll have all kinds of things going on downtown. Haven't seen the new stadium yet, so maybe I'll get in for some of the festivities. But that seems to be it for the NFL right now. Looking at hockey, I'm very happy with my New York Islanders. Their overall record is 21-13-4, 46 points. And in their last 10 games, they're 7-2-1. So they're on a hot streak. I'm hoping it's not followed up by a cold streak. The Rangers are 17-14-7, 41 points. And the Rangers in their last 10 are 4-2-4. So my Islanders are 5 points ahead of the Rangers, which always makes me happy. I can rub it in the face of my good friend Warren, my cousin Diane, but they'll let me know, and probably correctly, that, it's only about halfway through the season, not even quite halfway yet. And Rangers will probably end up catching the Islanders, but I hope not. And I tell them that's why I have to enjoy it while I have it, because I don't know how long I'm going to have it. All right, a little bit of college football today. As you can see, I've got my LSU Tigers shirt on. They're playing in the Fiesta Bowl against Central Florida. If you're not aware, Central Florida is the team that gave themselves the mythical national championship last year. They've won 25 games in a row. Granted, they play in a nothing conference and they play nobody. Okay, they beat Auburn in their bowl game last year. Auburn had just gotten knocked out of a big game and knocked out of the national championship playoff picture the previous game. So I'm thinking they weren't really charged up to play in that bowl game. And of course, Central Florida, that game meant everything to them. And Central Florida squeaked out a 34-27 victory over Auburn last season. So that's what they're talking about. That's the only decent team they've played, probably ever. And the 25-game winning streak, they're playing nobody. So there'd be 15, 20 teams undefeated if they every year if they played in that conference. Could you imagine Alabama, Clemson, or something playing that schedule, playing in that conference? They'd win every game by 30 points. So it means nothing to me, the winning streak. They can give themselves the mythical championship all they want. Talk is cheap. I can say I'm a better basketball player than LeBron James. That doesn't make it so. Obviously, I'd have to step up and get on the court with LeBron and prove that I'm better than he is, which, of course, I can't. So we'll see. I am concerned about this game because you know how it is these days. Guys that are going to be high draft picks in the NFL sit out bowl games. LSU has at least 2 or 3 of their top defensive players sitting out the game, and I think we got a couple of other guys suspended just for being stupid, which a lot of football players seem to be stupid. So I am concerned about this game. Central Florida lost their quarterback to a terrible knee injury, and I hope he's okay. But their backup quarterback is good too, so we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping LSU just whips Central Florida, ends this winning streak that means nothing to me because, again, they haven't played anybody. Lots of people could have long winning streaks playing against nobody in a nothing conference. And it's not their fault. I'm not saying it is. But if you're not playing in a power conference against top quality competition, you can't claim to be a national champion. And to me, they should never even be ranked in the top 25 because they don't play anybody. Get in a Power 5 conference, play a good schedule, and win, and then you'll get the respect that you deserve. But to me, you don't deserve a lot because you're not playing anybody. But anyway, I guess that's all I've got. I covered the NFL playoffs, which, again, of course, New York was nowhere near making. Covered some hockey. Mets don't really have any news going on right now. I do like the things they've been doing, but it's not going to be enough, in my opinion, to win the East. But hopefully they've got a few more things up their sleeves, before the season starts in less than 3 months on March 28th. So that's all I've got. Thanks very much for watching. I hope the year 2019 is the best for all of you out there as well as myself. So have a very happy 2019. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.